Everyone from Mr. Andrea to Learning Academy Foundation. Today I would like to show you about the biology program for lower secondary. The first section will be about living organisms, where the students will find out about the cell components that are found in both animal and plant cells. They will discover the different types of cells found in animals and what their role is. So they will learn about nerve cells, ciliated cells, muscle cells, and more. They will discover the different types of cells found in plants and what each one does. So they will learn about xylem cells, phloem cells, root hair cells, and more. And also they will see that there are 4 parts of the blood: red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, and platelets. The students will also learn about the skeleton, a system of bones and joints that has many important jobs, such as protecting organs and helping the body to move. They will learn about the muscles that work together in pairs to move the bones and body. So they will discover which muscles, bones, and joints are involved in kicking a ball or raising an arm. And also they will learn how the skeleton moves at its joints with help from muscles, including examples of hinge, pivot, and ball and socket joints. About living organisms, the students will say that there are 2 types of stem cells in humans: embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. So they will find out about the differences between them. They will see that cells in animals and plants are arranged into tissues, organs, and organ systems. They will learn about the structure and function of leaves. And also they will find out about unicellular organisms, a living thing that is made of just one cell. The students will also see an explanation of what cellulose is and how it is used. And also they will see that diffusion is the movement of particles from high to low areas of concentration. So they will learn how cells use it to transfer substances. They will see that animal and plant cells can be visualized using a model. So they will find out how to make them. And finally, they will discover how to observe cells using a microscope. The next section will be about nutrition, digestion, and excretion, where the students will see that the digestive system is made up of key parts, each of which has a different function. Enzymes are biological catalysts which speed up reactions, including digestion. Food is a store of energy transferred from the food to the consumer. And also, a balanced diet contains the correct amount of all food groups. The students will see that there are 2 types of malnutrition. When and how do they occur? Obese is a medical term used to describe a person with a high excess of body fat. And also lipids include fats, solid at room temperature, and oils, liquid at room temperature. The students will also see that vitamins and minerals help the body to use other nutrients efficiently. Proteins are a vital part of healthy diet. Protein-rich foods include fish, meat, eggs, and beans. Dietary fiber is a plant material that cannot be digested by the human body, and also that carbohydrates are an important source of energy in a healthy diet. So starchy and sugary foods are high in carbohydrates. Students will also see that starch is a type of carbohydrate, so its molecule contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. Poo, fishes, is the waste that remains after food has been digested and its nutrients absorbed by the body. The students will try this experiment and recreate processes in the digestive system with online and lab options. And finally, they will learn how digestion works and how to model digestion using a pair of tights. The next section will be about respiration and gas exchange, where the students will see that the human body takes in oxygen and lets out carbon dioxide. So many parts of the body are involved, including the lungs, airways, and blood. Respiration is a chemical reaction which occurs in all living cells, releasing energy from glucose. Breathing is also called ventilation and is the movement of gases into and out of from the lungs. And also that anaerobic respiration occurs without oxygen and releases less energy but more quickly than aerobic respiration. The students will also see that lactic acid is the waste product produced during anaerobic respiration. Circulatory system is the earth and all the blood vessels in the body which carry cells and substances to all its parts. And also the gas exchange systems is the parts of the body involved in breathing, such as the lungs, airways, and diaphragm. So different conditions and activities affect this system. The students will see that cells get the energy they need from glucose during respiration. So they will watch a visual explanation of glucose. Photosynthesis is a chemical reaction that takes place inside a plant, producing food for the plant to survive. Photosynthesis and respiration are processes that allow plants to make food and release energy. And also that temperature, light intensity, and carbon dioxide are just some of the factors that affect photosynthesis. So these factors can be manipulated to maximize growth. Students will try this experiment and use bandwidth to see how light intensity affects the rate of photosynthesis. They will say that the maximum amount of air they can breathe in and out is their vital lung capacity. So this experiment will show them how this can be measured. The next section will be about health and disease, where the students will see that legal and illegal drugs can change how people act and cause health problems. They will learn about communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. In other words, those that can be spread and those that can't. And how vaccines and antibiotics work in different ways to protect against illness. And about the causes and effects of common mental health issues such as stress, anxiety, and depression. And finally, they will discuss whether we should ban sugary drinks for under 18s. Can they think like a scientist? The next section will be about reproduction, where the students will learn about the cells and body parts involved in reproduction, how a body grows in the uterus, and what happens at birth. They will learn about sperm and egg cells, and they will find out how a baby grows in the uterus. They will see that the effects of the menstrual cycle can be different for each person, but in this section, there are some of the ways it can change the body. Then they will see that flowers reproduce through a process called pollination. So different flowers spread their pollen grains in different ways, including using pollinators. And finally, they will see that the fruit and seeds help plants to reproduce. So plants spread their seeds through wind, water, animals, and explosions. The next section will be about ecosystems and habitats, where the students will see that all organisms in an ecosystem depend on each other. So food chains show the flow of energy from one organism to another. All organisms in a food web depend upon each other, and the changes to one can affect the others. Sampling is the process of looking at a part of a population or habitat to draw conclusions about the whole thing. So the students will learn how sampling is used to find out about animals and plants. And also pyramids of number and biomass are different ways of showing the amount of organisms at each stage in the food chain. The students will learn how different species group together and how they are related to each other. They will see that plants live in a wide variety of habitats, so they will learn how each species is adapted to suit where they live. And finally, that biodiversity is a measure of the range of living organisms within a habitat. So a gene pool is the range of DNA in a species. In the next session will be about inheritance and genetics, where the students will see that the DNA is the genetic code which makes up genes, which are responsible for giving an organism a specific characteristic. Some variation is passed on via genes, and some variation is the result of differences in the surroundings or what an individual does. Collecting data on the differences between numbers of a species can give two different types of results, continuous and discontinuous. Characteristics like eye colors and genetic diseases are inherited. And also that evolution explains how better adapted organisms have an advantage. The students will see that the natural selection is known as the survival of the fittest. So the best adapted organisms are able to survive. Evolution is the process by which small changes in organisms occur over long periods of time and how species are formed. Selective breeding is when organisms are deliberately bred so their offspring have the desirable characteristics. And also that genetic conditions are passed from parents to their children, so students will learn about conditions that are inherited, such as sickle cell disorder and cystic fibrosis. The students will compare the work of two greatest scientists, Darwin and Doudna, and also they will discuss whether extinct species should ever be brought back to life. Can they think like a scientist? The next section will be about the humans and the environment, where the students will learn how greenhouse gases warm Earth up and how human activity is putting dangerous amounts of these gases in the atmosphere, causing climate change. And finally, they will learn how pollution can cause toxins to enter the food chain and build up to dangerous levels. In the last section, working scientifically, students will see how they can work safely in the lab and what are the various steps needed in order to do so. So how to spot risks, hazards, and understand hazard symbols. They will find out why variables are important in an experiment, including control variables, independent and dependent variables. They will see that an hypothesis is an idea about something works that can be tested using experiments. So a prediction says what will happen if the hypothesis is correct. And also that they will say that developing a method is an important part of planning and investigation, and it is important to evaluate the validity of each step leading up to the conclusion. They will also see that scientific equations and formulae are used to work things out in science. So using standard unit means scientists around the world can work together better. The students will use diagrams to show how scientific apparatus is set up and how to draw them in two dimensions. And they will see also that common practical techniques that use apparatus include filtration, evaporation, and distillation. Calculating average from data is usually more accurate than using one result. So using a table ensures that data is recorded in an organized way. Types of data include continuous, discrete, and categoric. So data can be presented in a number of ways, which depends on the type of variables and the uses. And also that different types of graphs and charts are used to show results. They need to be drawn and labeled correctly. So scientists use patterns in the data to reach a conclusion. Students will also see that a conclusion sums up what has been found out during an investigation. So it should be clearly structured and explained using scientific knowledge. And finally, they will see that scientific studies can be biased. Important to recognize when this is the case. So scientists review each other's conclusions from new research. All about the program for biology for lower secondary. You can find my contacts below in the slides or in the description. Thank you for your attention, students and parents. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next. Bye.